Dreams. They're only a figure of imagination until you take initiative and turn them into action. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Peyton Summers Ponce, a 17-year-old with the high ambitions to one day become a cardiac surgeon from Washington, Indiana. I plan to achieve this goal by working hard and maintaining my 4.0 GPA. As a proud member of my Lady Hatchet soccer team, I spend a lot of my time on the field. But when I'm not on the field, you can find me in my school's BPA group or giving back to my community. Whether it's hitting the books, scoring goals, or supporting my community, you will see me turning my dreams into action one day at a time. This was my state introduction that won me the title of National American Miss Indiana Teen in 2020. However, none of this would have been possible if it wasn't for one specific person's inspiration, Deshauna Barber. If not me, then who? This is the quote that Deshauna Barber lived her life by after a simple interaction while working at Target. According to Barber's speech, giving up is the birth of regrets. It was a regular workday, or so she had thought, until one uncomfortable stare from a middle-aged white female sparked a conversation. The woman continued to inch closer and closer until she was face to face with Barber, and proceeded to ask a question. "Are you from this country?" the stranger asked. In complete distraught, Barber responded with, "Yes, as a matter of fact, I am." The stranger continued to ask personal questions about her age, her relationship life. However, at this point, Barber felt more disrespected and confused as this woman continued to ask these questions. Barber's final response to the question of her age is 19. "Is there something I can help you with?" Barber was then met by the biggest surprise of her life. This woman was not questioning her to be rude or out of pure curiosity. Instead, this woman was asking her because she found Barber to be the most beautiful woman she had ever seen and thought she could be the next Miss USA. Deshauna Barber is an African-American young woman, which is why hearing these questions felt so derogatory. However, these questions were important for the pageant industry. The rules for the Miss USA pageant just recently underwent updates. However, at this time, the rules were very different. According to the Miss USA official pageant page, the age limit for Miss USA contestants has been eliminated, opening the opportunity for all contestants over the age of 18 to participate in the upcoming pageant. However, contestants must be of good health, must be a citizen of the United States, and must be recognized medically and legally as a female of the United States. Like I mentioned though, before these recent changes, the rules were different. They had two additional rules. The contestants can neither be married nor have children. Like most people though, Barber had no clue what pageants were and only viewed them as the stereotypical aspects. On top of this, Barber was a part of the Army. "I'm in the Army, we don't do pageants," is what Barber stated. According to the U.S. Veterans Magazine, she also went on to state, "The Army Reserve taught her how to balance, plan, multitask, and prioritize. Not to mention, being in the Army can somewhat be intimidating, depending on who you room with. It was scary, but I think I've been in scarier situations," stated Barber. In ways that Barber would have never imagined, the Army prepared her for this newfound pageant life. She was able to think on her toes and speak with proper etiquette. Like Barber, when first introduced, I knew very little about pageants. However, at the age of 12, I started to show interest. I loved to dress up and enjoyed speaking, so thought I would enjoy them. I came from a family that knew absolutely nothing about pageants. My mother didn't even know how to apply makeup. However, I was the complete opposite with both. One thing about me though is if I set my mind to something, I will achieve it. With all things hair and makeup, I would spend hours searching YouTube, teaching myself how to achieve these looks by tutorials. I started to do the same for pageants. This is when I came across Deshauna Barber and her speech that I had mentioned, "Giving up is the birth of regrets." The way Barber was able to form sentences and get her message across was motivating. I heard her speak of her story and trial and tribulations within the pageant industry. She competed in her first state pageant when she was 19 years old. She went back year after year after year until she was 26 when she finally won the title of Miss USA District of Columbia. She then went on to win Miss USA, becoming the first ever queen to be the member of the Army, as well as the first African American since 2008. All because she lived by the motto, "If not me, then who?" Hearing her story lit a spark for me. It made me feel I too could achieve my dreams. I continued to watch more YouTube videos and teach myself more about pageantry. I learned far more about pageants than just the dress and looks. Pageantry involves so many different aspects far beyond this. I spent hours looking up different organizations and competitions until I found one that felt best fit for me. I decided on the National American Miss Organization. Their official site states that the required areas of competition are formal wear, personal introduction, interview, and community service. In 2019, I made my way to Indianapolis to compete in the National American Miss Indiana competition. After many hours of hard work and dedication, I found myself in the final two, standing hand in hand with one other girl. I could almost taste the victory until my name was not called and found myself falling just short of it. I felt defeated, but heard the small voice inside of my head, if not me, then who? This is all it took for me to take this loss and turn it into a motivation and come back even stronger. In 2020, I came back stronger and better. I felt more prepared than I ever had. I knew I did everything that I could, and the final decision was completely out of my control. That's when I heard your new National American Miss Indiana teen is Peyton Summers Ponce.